Hello everyone, welcome back to the Geek King Pause. Today, we are talking about this Lego set. So if you notice, we are in a bit of a change of scenery. We're just talking about the Lego set, so I didn't think it really mattered too much. However, if you do recall, my last few videos were about me trying to move, and I have not. So my recording area is all packed up, and I am still here. So, yeah, we're in a bit of a different location, but that's fine. Let's get straight into this set. Today, I want to talk about the minifigures, and just so this isn't a ridiculously long video essay, I'm going to release two separate videos. One of them is going to be my issue with the minifigures, and the other one's going to be the issue with the actual set. So let's get straight into the actual minifigures, because that's what this episode is, and yeah, let's go. So this is the LEGO expansion set for $330, and a lot of people have taken issues largely with the minifigures, but also with the build and the price for the build. So I believe this comes with 10 figures, and people have a lot of issues with a lot of them. So I'm going to start off with Wolverine, because I think this one is the easiest one for me to talk about, because I just inherently... I understand where people are coming from, but I disagree with what they want as a solution. So a lot of people don't like this Wolverine minifigure, and that is completely valid. This figure is not as cool as the collectible minifigure series figure that we have received. So why would we really want this when we know that this exists? Especially when we can get the less printed... I'll call it the less printed version, because I don't want to like trash on Lego too much. But why would we want the less printed version when we know that there's a better version out there and we can get the less printed version in a different set? So my solution to please fans, and if I were Lego, what I would do is say put him in casual clothing, because I think that putting him in this set from the collectible minifigure series doesn't make sense, because they don't really do that. Like, collectible minifigure series is meant to be collectible minifigure series. I was shocked that they included the torso, even, of Storm. I thought that they would do the black outfit just so that they wouldn't have overlap from the collectible minifigure series, because that's always been a very special thing, kind of, is to have the collectible minifigure series as one thing, and then the figures that come out in generalized sets as another thing. So if they just released Wolverine in casual clothing, we get a new Wolverine that's unique and makes sense, and that way we aren't complaining about the printing from the X-Jet again. We get LEGO getting to save a little bit of money because they're not reusing the collectible minifigure series. They can probably reuse some gene prints. They can probably reuse the hair, the head, even if they really wanted to, although I would hope they would print one that doesn't have an alternate face of goggles. And then they could just make a new torso, which I don't think is asking very much of them, especially for a $330 set.
This is an afterthought, but they also totally could have given us the brown suit Wolverine and everyone would have been happy.
So I think that's a nice middle ground as a solution for fans, and like what LEGO probably was trying to avoid with including this version of Wolverine instead of the better version. And yeah, Rogue I think is fine. Bishop I really like. Jean Grey I really like. But Magneto and Scott, or Cyclops, both have the same issue where they totally could have used a different color hip piece. And I don't know why LEGO didn't do this. They just used general, like, the same colored plastic for the hip and the legs. And it's weird because they still do this. They did it with Qui-Gon Jinn in the Sith Infiltrator, where Qui-Gon Jinn's hip piece is tan, and then his leg piece is actually brown. And then they did the same thing with Commander Fox in the Coruscant Guard gunship. Like, it's very possible for them to do this. And not only would it make the print much better for Scott and just overall look for both him and Magneto, it would make them look more colorful, more like there would be more color there. It would just look better. It wouldn't cost them anything more, really, because it's not an extra print. It's just a different color mold. So it wouldn't cost them anything. And it just is really such an easy fix that they could have done. The next two that I really want to talk about, I'm not going to talk about Storm. I think that she's fine. I think that Iceman is fine as a fine-looking figure. I'm going to talk about different issues with Iceman. I'll get back to that after. But I did want to talk about Gambit and Professor X because both of them have a little bit bigger issues where Gambit should have used dual molding probably for his legs. I mean, the fact that they have it animated and not in real life shows that they know what's right. They just also know what's cheaper. And for a $330 set, it's a little upsetting to hear that they couldn't go that little bit more. But I love this figure. I think that Gambit is such a beautiful figure. I don't want to keep just sitting here talking about the issues because this is really also meant to be like a, hey, this is really cool that we're getting an X-Men set, not just, oh my gosh, they could have done so much better. Because I love this set, don't get me wrong. This is just a critique video. I'm being a little harsh on it, but I love it so much. I bought it day one, like I said, once again. And this Gambit figure really is beautiful. I do wish that the dual molding was there. I think it would look much better for his knee pads. I think it would be much more accurate. I think it would also highlight the fact that his trench coat doesn't go all the way down to his toes. I think it just would make a lot more sense. And it's kind of upsetting that they didn't do that for him. But, you know, they didn't do that for him. Whatever. It didn't happen. And I think that nonetheless, this figure is very beautiful, that the attention to detail is really well done. I think that it looks really nice nonetheless. One thing that I don't like is Professor X. I mean, because he's in his yellow hover chair, you can tell it's him. But the green suit is just so iconic. And if this figure didn't have a giant yellow hover chair, you know they would have made a green suit for him. Because it wouldn't have been as recognizable. The only reason why they are able to do this and have it be recognizable is because of the yellow hover chair. And I know that for a fact because I looked at the Charles Xavier and the gift with purchase and I was like, no, that's not it. That's not right. That's not him. That doesn't look like him because they cheaped out a little bit. They reused pieces. In the gift with purchase, they didn't use any new pieces. They used such an old city suit that I remember getting in like 2010. And it doesn't look anything like something that Professor Xavier wore in the movies, and it's kind of upsetting to me. But that gift with purchase is a whole third video, honestly, that I could talk about. But yeah, the green suit, it's very upsetting. That's such an iconic suit of Professor Xavier. To anyone who is upset about it, I've heard a lot of people have been using Mr. Burns' suit from the Lego Simpsons collectible minifigure series, because his suit is green. I don't know how that would look, and I'm honestly not too worried about it, because he is in the wheelchair. He is recognizable with that wheelchair and with that bald head. But I know that if he was a character that didn't have that giant, recognizable, highlighted accessory of the bright yellow hover chair, I know that I wouldn't be happy with this. I'm only tolerant of it because of the yellow the yellow brick that he sits in. So the last figure that I really want to highlight is Iceman here, because Iceman's interesting. I love that we got the figure. I think the figure looks great. And I'm so excited. When I first saw it leaked, I was very like on edge about it. Like I wanted it to be transparent, and I've kind of come to a more realistic term with it. And I'm like, no, this looks good enough. I'm happy with this. I'm not upset about this. This is how he looked in his first appearance. This is more realistic for a full Lego minifigure, and yeah, I'm okay with this. But also, the more I think about it, the more I think, why is he in this set? Because this was inspired by X-Men 97, which came out earlier this year. And Iceman's not known for X-Men 97. Don't get me wrong. He's a popular character, and I'm so thankful to have him as a minifigure. But in an X-Men 97 set, it wouldn't make sense. So the fact that this is inspired by X-Men 97, I don't think that he should be in this set. I love him, I'm glad he's in there, but I think that the spot would much better off be taken up by Jubilee or Sunspot, who was the main character of the original X-Men 97 and then X-Men 97 rebooted, respectively. And so I'm torn on that. And what I've come up with is this would be my solution. So you say you added Iceman because he was a part of the first few X-Men. All right. but he's the only one. So this is what I would suggest you do. Switch out Iceman for Jubilee or Sunspot, and then release a $25 set with all of the missing figures that people really wanted to get in this set that I haven't even brought up yet. And this $25 set could literally be a build of the exact same Sentinel, and it will sell out. I'm telling you, people will want to army build Sentinels. So do a Sentinel set and then include some of the missing figures, switch out Iceman with Jubilee, and then put Iceman in the Sentinel set, along with Angel, because Angel's also a part of the first class of X-Men, and you didn't include him in the set other than a small tile print of the first ever comic. And then do the other two figures that are from X-Men 97 that you referenced in this set, but don't really show up in this set other than that. And that is Nightcrawler and Cable. They both deserve a spot in this set. They play such major roles in the show, and they even get referenced in this set, but we don't have them as physical figures. So throw them in there, and then throw the other two. Boom, slap a $25, hell, even at that rate, $30 price tag for it, and people will buy it. I know it. It'll probably go on sale at Walmart for like $24, and then people will buy it even more, but people will buy it. I know it. I know a lot of people are probably going to bring up, oh, what about Dazzler? Dazzler's referenced in this. And yeah, Dazzler's referenced in this. I think that Dazzler, if anything, would be a fun gift with purchase. She's not a major X-Men character when it comes to the big storylines. Like in the comics, she has her own comic books and all. But like when it comes to X-Men 97, she doesn't play any major roles. And when it comes to the movies, she doesn't really appear. So it's much more of a side character. And so I think it would be a nice gift with purchase. And I don't like locking figures behind gift with purchases. I think that it's much better off as like you can buy it, but if you spend this much, it's also a gift with purchase. But I just, that's the best I could think of with her. It doesn't really make sense to make a set just for her and to make a whole new figures for her. Until there's higher demand for it. Because right now, there's not high demand for Dazzler. In fact, her reference in this set, I think, was very, very appropriate. Some other critiques that I could have would be like Mr. Sinister probably should have been in here. Or, just any villain, really. Like, the main villain of X-Men 97 would have been really nice to throw in here, honestly. Why am I blanking on his name? Bastion! If you were to include, say, Bastion and say, oh my gosh, now I'm forgetting the other one's name. Can you tell that I'm making this video at 1 a.m.? Say you make that $30 Sentinel set with the 4 X-Men, and then you include Bastion and Mr. Sinister, that would be perfect. And that's doable, in my opinion. I mean, the Star Wars battle packs have, like, 4 figures typically, and then, like, two droids or even more sometimes. So if you do, like, a small Sentinel build like this, or even smaller, and then include those 6 figures for $30, that'll sell. That'll sell really well. Although I know that they would never include 6 figures in a $30 set. I think it would be nice. Like, I don't know. That's everything I have to say about the minifigures. But I want to leave this off on a high note because I don't want all of this negativity to surround this set. Because I'm gonna make another video about the actual build and people's issues with the build, and with all of the negativity surrounding it, I think it's important to sit back and say, hey, this is an X-Men set. We're getting X-Men sets. This is freaking awesome. And it is. It's recognizable. Whether you like the size of it, the price of it, the minifigures of it, it's recognizable. It's very, very beautiful. A lot of attention has gone into this. You can tell by the Easter eggs. You can tell by the build. A lot of care has gone into this. There's a lot about this set that people will complain about, and there's a lot about any set that people will complain about. But there's also a lot to respect about this set, I think. And I think that a good way of looking at this isn't what we missed out on, but this is the first step of getting what we missed out on. Because, say, 5 years ago, we missed out on getting an X-Mansion set. We have an X-Mansion set now. This is a step in the right direction. We're going to get these figures eventually because we as fans want these figures eventually. And if we keep making our voices heard, Lego is going to have to be like, hey, people want these figures. Let's make some money and make these figures, right? Surely they're smart enough to do that, especially throwing us that little bone of the little references, seeing that they have designs of these figures. They have graphic designers who intentionally use real Lego pieces and real concepts of figures onto Lego pieces. It could be the start of something excellent, and I don't want people to take negativity away from the set. I want people to take away joy. This is a Lego set. That is what they're meant to do. They make you happy. They're exciting. They're fun. They're creative, and I want you to look at this set and instead of say, oh, this, and this. I want you to look at it and I want you to respect it for what it is. It's an X-Mansion set and it does the job. You can tell that there's mutants outside. You can tell that there's a Sentinel outside. You can tell that's Charles Xavier's mansion turned into a school for gifted youngsters. And it's beautiful. It's wonderful. I have dreamed of a set like this. And finally having it in hand, it's exciting. It's awesome. So anyways, guys, I'm going to leave this off here. Hopefully, if not at the time of you watching this, pretty soon I will be uploading a video on like the critiques of the actual build of the school itself. I got a bunch of editing to do for this, and then I'll film that. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed the X-Mansion set. Do not be afraid to pick this set up. It is beautiful. The minifigures are awesome, and it is a step in the right direction for all X-Men fans and Lego fans everywhere. So with that being said, I'm going to leave this off here. I hope you guys have enjoyed, though. And yeah, goodbye.